October 12, 2023. Graceland Archives, Memphis, Tennessee. 9:17 a.m. A preservation specialist named Dr. Angie Marchese opens a sealed box. Climate-controlled storage, box number 247E, personal effects, Elvis Presley, cataloged but never fully examined. Inside, clothing, jewelry, personal items from August 16, 1977. The day Elvis died. Angie photographs each item, documents everything, standard procedure. Then she finds it, a wallet, brown leather, worn at the edges, soft from years of handling. She opens it carefully. Driver's license still inside. Credit cards long expired. $46 cash. And in a hidden compartment behind the license slot, something else. A photograph, folded, small, protected. Angie unfolds it with gloved hands, stares. Her breath catches. She reaches for her phone, calls her supervisor. "You need to see this. Right now." The photograph is black and white, 3 inches by 2 inches, creased from being folded, worn from being touched. The edges soft, almost fuzzy. It shows 2 people, a woman and a young man, standing close. The woman's hand on the man's shoulder, both smiling, not posed, candid, real. The date on the back, written in faded pencil, August 12, 1958. 4 days before Gladys Presley died. 2 days before Elvis made his secret recording. The last photograph ever taken of Elvis and his mother together, and nobody knew it existed until now. Quick thought. Have you ever kept something so private, so sacred, that you never showed it to anyone? Drop a comment. What happens in the next 18 minutes will reveal Elvis's deepest secret. The photograph he carried every single day for 19 years. The image he looked at when nobody was watching. The reminder of what he lost and what he could never get back. Here is the story. August 12, 1958. Baptist Memorial Hospital, Memphis, Tennessee. Room 327. Gladys Love Presley has been here for 2 days. Hepatitis, liver failure, critical condition. Elvis arrived from Fort Hood, Texas on emergency leave. He hasn't left her side, hasn't slept, hasn't eaten. Just sits in the chair next to her bed, holding her hand, watching her breathe. Today, she's having a good day, alert, awake, talking. The nurses say these good days are common near the end, a final surge, the body's last gift. Elvis doesn't know this. He thinks she's getting better. He believes she'll recover. He has to believe it. 2 p.m. Gladys asks for something, her voice weak but clear. "Baby, I want to look pretty today." Elvis calls for a nurse. "Can you help my mama with her hair?" The nurse brings a brush, some lipstick, a small mirror. Gladys sits up. Elvis helps her. She fixes her hair, applies the lipstick carefully, looks at herself, smiles. "That's better. You look beautiful, Mama." She squeezes his hand. "I want to remember this. Us together. While I still can." "Don't talk like that. You're going to be fine." Gladys looks at him, her eyes knowing. Sad. "Baby, get your camera." "What?" "Your camera. The one you carry. I want a picture." "Mama." "Please. For me." Elvis always carries a small camera. A Kodak Brownie. Fits in his pocket. He uses it to document life. Random moments, behind-the-scenes shots. Nothing professional, just memories. He hesitates. Doesn't want to take a photo here, in the hospital, with his mother dying. It feels wrong, like admitting defeat. But she's asking, and he can't say no to her. He never could. Elvis gets the camera from his jacket, asks a nurse to take the photo. The nurse agrees. Elvis stands next to his mother's bed. Gladys sits up straighter, smooths her hospital gown. Elvis leans down. She reaches up, places her hand on his shoulder. They both smile. Not big smiles, not fake smiles. Small, gentle, real. The nurse clicks the shutter. 1 photo. That's all. The moment captured, forever. "Thank you, baby." Elvis sits back down, holds her hand. Mama, why did you want that picture? Gladys's voice is barely a whisper. Because I want you to remember me like this. Not sick, not dying. Just your mama who loves you. You're not dying. We both know I am. Elvis can't respond, can't speak, just holds her hand tighter. Gladys continues, and when I'm gone, when you're alone, when you miss me, I want you to have this. To remember that I was here, that I was real, that I loved you more than anything in this world. Tears fall down Elvis's face. I'll always remember, Mama. Good, because that's all that matters. Not the fame, not the money, just the love. And the love never stops. Even when I'm gone, I'll still love you. Always. 2 days later, Gladys dies. August 14th, 1958, 3:15 a.m. Elvis is holding her hand when she takes her last breath. The funeral is August 17th. The grief is unbearable. Elvis throws himself on the coffin, screams, sobs, has to be pulled away. In the weeks after, he barely functions, barely eats, barely sleeps, just exists. Hollow, broken, lost. September 1958. Elvis returns to Fort Hood, back to the Army. Service must continue. Life must continue. Even when it feels impossible. One day, going through his things, he finds the camera. The Kodak Brownie. Still has the film inside. He takes it to a photo shop in Killeen, Texas. Small place. Off base. Asks them to develop it. The clerk says it'll be 3 days. Elvis waits. Those 3 days feel like years. When the photos come back, Elvis looks through them. Random shots, Army base scenes, friends goofing around. Then, near the end of the roll, he sees it. The photograph. Him and his mother. August 12th, 1958. Baptist Memorial Hospital. The last time she looked like herself. The last time she smiled. The last time they were together before she slipped away. Elvis stares at it for 20 minutes. Can't look away. Can't breathe. This is all he has left. This image, this moment, this proof she existed. He doesn't show it to anyone. Doesn't tell anyone about it. Just keeps it. In his wallet, behind his driver's license. Folded carefully, hidden, protected, sacred. October 1958, Germany. Elvis is stationed in Friedberg, U.S. Army, 3rd Armored Division, living off base in a rented house. Every night after everyone goes to bed, Elvis sits alone, takes out his wallet, removes the photograph, unfolds it carefully, studies it. Her face, her hand on his shoulder, her smile. He talks to it. Not out loud, in his mind. Mama, I miss you. I'm trying to be strong. I'm trying to make you proud. But God, it hurts. Every day hurts. The photograph becomes his ritual. Every single night. For 19 years. In Germany, in Hollywood, in Las Vegas, in Memphis. No matter where he is, no matter who he's with. Every night, he looks at that photograph. Reconnects with her. Remembers. Grieves. Loves. But nobody knows. Not his father Vernon. Not his friends in the Memphis Mafia. Not his wife Priscilla, not even his daughter Lisa Marie. The photograph is his secret, his private pain, his sacred connection to the person he loved most, and he guards it fiercely. Elvis marries Priscilla. Las Vegas. They live at Graceland, share a bedroom, share a life. Priscilla notices things. Elvis always keeps his wallet close, never leaves it lying around, keeps it in his pocket, or in a locked drawer. One day, she asks, Elvis, why are you so protective of your wallet? Elvis shrugs. Just habit, I guess. Can I see it? His expression changes. Closes off. No. Why not? Because it's mine. And some things are private. Priscilla doesn't push. But she wonders, what could be so important? What could be so secret? She never finds out. Elvis never tells her. The Memphis Mafia notices too. Over the years, they see Elvis's nightly ritual, not the photograph itself, but the behavior. Elvis excusing himself, going to his room, staying there for 10, 15 minutes, coming back quieter, sadder. They assume he's praying, or reading the Bible, or just needing space. They're partly right. It is a form of prayer, a communion with the past, with his mother, with the part of himself that died with her. The '68 comeback special, NBC television. Elvis is performing live for the first time in years. He's nervous, terrified actually, worried he's lost it, worried the world has moved on. Before going on stage, he sits in his dressing room, alone, takes out his wallet, removes the photograph, looks at it. Mama, help me. Give me strength. Let me make you proud. Then he folds it carefully, puts it back, walks on stage, performs brilliantly, the best show of his career, and he credits her. The photograph, the connection, the love that never died. Aloha from Hawaii, the satellite concert, broadcast to over 1 billion people, the biggest audience ever for a single performer. Before the show, Elvis follows the same ritual. Wallet, photograph, mama. He closes his eyes, whispers, "This is for you." Then performs, gives everything, leaves nothing behind. And when it's over, when the world is celebrating, Elvis sits alone in his dressing room, takes out the photograph again. Did I make you proud? Did you see? Are you watching? He needs to believe she is, because without that belief, none of it matters. But the photograph isn't just about pride. It's about guilt. The guilt Elvis carried every day since her death. The guilt that he caused her stress, that his fame killed her, that he wasn't enough to save her. Looking at the photograph reminds him of that guilt, but it also reminds him of her love. And somehow the love outweighs the guilt. Barely. But it does. Elvis is dying. He doesn't know it yet. Or maybe he does. Maybe he's known for years. The drugs, the weight, the exhaustion. His body is failing, his spirit broken. But every night, the ritual continues. Wallet, photograph, mama, even on the worst nights. Especially on the worst nights, when the pain is unbearable, when the loneliness is crushing, when he wants to give up. He looks at that photograph and remembers. Someone loved him, purely, completely, unconditionally, before the fame, before the money, before the world knew his name. Someone loved him just for being him. And that love is what keeps him going, day after day, year after year, for 19 years. August 16th, 1977, 2 a.m., Graceland, Elvis's bedroom. He can't sleep. The pain is too much. His body is shutting down. He knows, deep down he knows. This is the end. He sits on the edge of his bed, takes out his wallet one last time, removes the photograph, unfolds it, looks at his mother's face, her hand on his shoulder, her smile. He touches the image gently, like he can feel her through the paper. "I'm coming, Mama. Soon. I'm tired. So tired. I'll see you soon." He folds it carefully, puts it back in the wallet, returns the wallet to his pocket. Hours later, he collapses in the bathroom. Cardiac arrest. 2:30 p.m. Elvis Aaron Presley is dead, 42 years old. The wallet is still in his pocket, the photograph still inside, touching his body, close to his heart, the way it had been for 19 years. When they find Elvis, they remove the wallet. Standard procedure. They catalog the contents. License, credit cards, cash. They don't look deeper. Don't check behind the license slot. Don't unfold the small square of paper wedged there. The wallet goes into storage. Box number 247E, along with his other personal effects. Sealed, preserved, forgotten for 46 years. Until October 12th, 2023, when Dr. Angie Marchese opens the box, opens the wallet, finds the photograph, and gasps, because she immediately understands what she's found, not just a photograph, but a secret, a window into Elvis's soul, proof of a love so deep it required no audience, no witnesses, no validation, just him and the memory of his mother. For 19 years, every single day, hidden from the world, protected, sacred. Dr. Marchese calls a meeting. Graceland archivist, museum director, Elvis Presley Enterprises. They gather around a table. The photograph laid carefully on white cloth, under glass, protected. Everyone stares at it. Nobody speaks for a full minute. Finally, the museum director asks, "How did we not know about this?" "Because he didn't want us to know," Dr. Marchese says. "This wasn't for us. This was for him. Should we make it public?" The room debates. Some argue no, it's too private, too sacred. Elvis kept it hidden for a reason. Others argue yes. The world should know, should understand the depth of his love, the reality of his pain, the humanity beneath the myth. They decide to ask the family. Priscilla Presley, Lisa Marie Presley, both are shown the photograph. Priscilla cries, "I never knew. All those years, and I never knew he carried this." Lisa Marie touches the glass covering the photo. Her fingers trace her father's face, her grandmother's smile. "This is the most beautiful thing I've ever seen. Not the image itself, but what it means. That my father loved her so much. That he needed her every single day. That 19 years later he was still holding on." She pauses. "People should see this. Not as gossip. Not as scandal. But as love. Pure, devastating, eternal love." November 8th, 2023. Graceland announces the discovery, press release, carefully worded. The photograph is revealed. High-resolution image. Published online. Shown in the museum. The response is overwhelming. Within 24 hours, 50 million people view the photograph. News outlets cover it. Elvis's secret photograph revealed after 46 years. The image Elvis carried until death. A mother's love, Elvis's private pain made public. But the headlines don't matter. What matters is the response from regular people. Comments flood in, thousands of messages. People sharing their own stories. A woman from Ohio. "My mother died when I was 20. I've carried her photo for 38 years. In my wallet, right where Elvis kept his. I thought I was crazy. Now I know I'm not alone." A man from Australia. "I lost my son 5 years ago. I keep his picture in my wallet. Touch it every day. Nobody knows. But Elvis knew. Elvis understood." A teenager from Brazil. "I'm 17. My grandmother raised me. She died last year. I printed a photo of us, folded it, keep it in my wallet. This story makes me feel less weird, less alone." The photograph becomes a symbol, not of Elvis's fame, not of his legend, but of his humanity, his grief, his love, his secret burden. Quick thought. Have you ever carried something with you every day that nobody else knows about? Drop a comment. Psychologists weigh in. Dr. Maria Hernandez, grief counselor. This behavior is called continuing bonds. It's a way of maintaining connection with someone who's died. Elvis's ritual of looking at the photograph every night wasn't pathological. It was healing. It was his way of processing grief that society told him to get over. He never got over it. He integrated it. And that photograph was the bridge. Dr. Robert Chen, trauma specialist. What strikes me is the privacy. Elvis was the most public figure in the world. Millions of people thought they knew him. But this photograph proves they didn't. Nobody did. Not really. He kept his deepest self hidden, protected. That's not celebrity behavior. That's survival. The photograph goes on display. Graceland, Main Museum, special exhibit, Elvis, the Private Man. It's shown in a dimmed room, spotlit, under glass. Visitors enter quietly, respectfully. Many cry. Not because Elvis was famous, but because they recognize themselves in his pain, in his love, in his secret grief. The exhibit includes context, text on the wall explaining, "This photograph was taken August 12, 1958, at Baptist Memorial Hospital in Memphis. It is the last photograph of Elvis and his mother, Gladys, taken together. 2 days later, Gladys passed away. Elvis kept this photograph in his wallet, hidden behind his driver's license, from 1958 until his death in 1977. He never told anyone about it. He never showed it to anyone. It was discovered in October 2023 by Graceland archivists. The photograph was folded and unfolded so many times the creases are permanent. The edges are soft from being touched. This is not a photograph of a celebrity. This is a photograph of a son who never stopped missing his mother. Visitors leave messages. A guest book next to the exhibit. Hundreds of entries. This made me call my mom. I carry my dad's photo the same way. Love like this never dies. I understand him now. Not the king, the son. Thank you for showing us. We needed to see this. 1 year after the discovery, a documentary is made. The photograph, Elvis's Secret Grief. It explores the find, interviews Dr. Marchese, interviews Priscilla and Lisa Marie, interviews psychologists and historians. But most importantly, it interviews regular people, people who carry their own photographs, their own secrets, their own grief. The documentary becomes a phenomenon, not because of Elvis, but because of what Elvis represents, all of us, carrying loss, carrying love, carrying photographs of people who shaped us, who left us, who we'll never stop missing. The final scene of the documentary is powerful. Dr. Marchese holds the original photograph, gloved hands, careful, reverent. She speaks to the camera. When I first found this, I thought it was just a photograph, an artifact, a piece of history. But the more I studied it, the more I realized it's not a photograph. It's a lifeline. For 19 years, this small piece of paper connected Elvis to the person he loved most. It kept her alive for him. It made his grief bearable. And when he died, he made sure it was with him, in his pocket, close to his heart. That's not celebrity. That's not legend. That's love. Pure, human, eternal love. And I think that's why it matters. Because it reminds us that no matter how famous you are, no matter how much money you have, no matter how many people know your name, grief is universal. Loss is universal. And love, the kind of love Elvis had for his mother, that's universal too. Today the photograph remains at Graceland, in the exhibit, under glass, protected. Thousands see it every month. But it's not just a tourist attraction. It's a pilgrimage site. People come specifically to see it, to stand in front of it, to honor the love it represents. Priscilla Presley, in a 2024 interview. I was married to Elvis for 6 years. I thought I knew him, but I didn't know about the photograph, and that tells me something profound. Elvis was able to share himself with the world, but he couldn't share his grief. That was too private, too painful, too sacred. The photograph was his secret, his burden, his treasure. And I'm grateful we finally know about it, because it shows who he really was. Not a king, just a son who missed his mother every single day. Lisa Marie Presley, before her death in January 2023. My father carried a photo of his mother for 19 years. I've carried a photo of him for my entire life. I understand. The photograph isn't about the person in the image. It's about the love that remains when they're gone. It's about refusing to let go. Not because you're stuck, but because you're loyal. Because love doesn't end with death. It changes form. And sometimes it lives in a folded photograph, hidden in a wallet, close to your heart. Forever. February 1st, 2023. 2 months before the photograph's discovery, Lisa Marie Presley dies. Cardiac arrest. 54 years old. At her funeral, Priscilla reveals something. In Lisa Marie's wallet, they found a photograph, folded, hidden behind the license, of her and Elvis, months before he died. Lisa Marie had been carrying it for 46 years, just like her father carried his. The ritual passed down, the love inherited, the grief shared across generations. The parallel is heartbreaking and beautiful, because it proves something. The photograph Elvis carried wasn't just about Gladys. It was about family, about connection, about love so strong it transcends death, time, and silence. Elvis carried his mother. Lisa Marie carried her father. And now, somewhere, Someone is carrying Lisa Marie. The chain continues. The love endures. The photographs remain. If you take one thing from this story, let it be this. The things we keep hidden are often the things that define us. Elvis's photograph wasn't public, it was private, sacred, and that's what made it powerful. Not the image itself, but the ritual, the daily return to love, the refusal to let go, the acknowledgement that grief is not weakness, it's proof of love, and love is all that matters. Today, when people visit Graceland, many bring photographs of their own loved ones, their own losses. They place them near Elvis's grave. Leave them there. A tribute, not to Elvis, but to the universal experience of loving someone so much that losing them becomes part of who you are. The photograph Elvis kept in his wallet for 19 years is now the most viewed artifact at Graceland. More than the jumpsuits, more than the cars, more than the gold records, because it's the most honest thing Elvis ever shared. Even though he never meant to share it at all, it was stolen from him by time, by death, by archivists doing their job. But in the end, maybe he would have wanted this. Maybe he would have wanted the world to know that beneath the fame, the myth, the legend, was just a man, a son, who loved his mother, who missed her every single day, who carried her image close to his heart for 19 years, until the day he died. And unfortunately, they don't make men like Elvis Presley anymore. Men who loved that deeply, grieved that honestly, carried their pain with such dignity and privacy. But the photograph remains, a reminder that love, true love, never needs an audience. It just needs to be real. And Elvis's love was real, proven not by words or performances or public displays, but by a small folded photograph, hidden in a wallet, touched every night, for 19 years. If this story moved you, leave a comment about someone you carry with you, in your wallet, in your heart, in your memory. Honor their love. Honor your grief. Because both are sacred, both are real, both deserve to be seen. Subscribe to hear more stories about the real Elvis Presley, the private man, the grieving son, the human behind the legend.